Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to join us for our Police Awards night here at Granite Knolls. We will have our PD entering at 12 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to ask Officer Joyce Pagliuca to come join us for the national anthem. If you could all rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So tonight is a great night. We all know we have a great police department, and tonight we end up really getting to personalize that and find out what the men and women that serve our town do, why they're being recognized tonight, and why Yorktown is the best damn police department in all of New York, possibly the country. Chief Noble, if you would like to take the rest of the way out.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Yeah, there we go. Such a great night. If I didn't get a chance to speak to the family members yet and introduce myself, I will get there before the end of the night, but so happy that the weather cooperated. And as I said at town board meetings, and I thank the town board, Supervisor Lachman and the town board for allowing us to have this event out here at Tom Diana Park at Granite Knolls. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our park superintendent, Jim Martirano Jr., for all the hard work that he did in helping us set this up, and also Tommy Ciangelo, who was up here and is bringing the camera work with his able assistant here, so that this will be on the town government channel. I believe so. For everybody to watch. So whatever you miss here, it'll be on video, and you'll be able to celebrate whenever you'd like with your loved one, whoever is receiving an award tonight. And again, I'm Chief Robert Noble of the Town of Yorktown Police, and again, there's nothing more that I enjoy than celebrating the outstanding police work that the men and women of the Yorktown Police Department do on a day in and day out basis. Just extraordinary feats of courage, bravery, intelligence, empathy, you name it. The list goes on, demonstrated, and it's part of the job. It's part of what we do every day. But certain cases, certain instances rise to the level that deserve recognition, and that's why we are here tonight. Not only are we celebrating the excellent police work of your Yorktown Police Department and the members in here, we have 2 civilian awards as well to give out this evening. So at this time, I'd ask Mr. Gregory O'Brien, please join me up at the podium. Right there. On July 29, 2025, we were alerted to a serious motorcycle accident at Route 202 in the area of the Taconic State Parkway. It was a very severe accident, and the gentleman on the motorcycle had severe injuries. Before we could get there, this gentleman right here, Gregory O'Brien, who, member of military service, correct, sir? Thank you so much for your service to our country as well. But as members of the military service and the police so often do, they jump in, they get involved. And if Mr. O'Brien hadn't gotten involved that night, we could have been looking at a fatal motorcycle accident. Dove right in and provided excellent care. I mean, you must have did that out in the field in your service a few times. Very humble. But, you know, when the officers arrived on the scene, they had made mention of that. And like a true member of military service, he was nowhere to be found. He was like Batman. He was gone from the scene, wanted no recognition at all. Well, doing what cops do, we found him. And to Lieutenant Rasiopo's credit, he helped us get in touch with Mr. O'Brien, who initially did not want to be recognized. He did what he did out there because he's an outstanding member of the community. But, you know, we finally broke him down, and, you know, it's when people like Gregory O'Brien perform deeds like this, you know, it reminds you that there's very good people out there. There's so many good people, more than bad, and there's just outstanding heroes that walk with us, that want no recognition, that serve their country, that look out for their community. And you know what? I am beyond proud to stand up here and give you the recognition that you do deserve. And I'm going to read the certificate of recognition from the Yorktown Police Department. It's awarded to Gregory O'Brien for the heroic actions performed at the scene of a serious motorcycle collision, which occurred in Yorktown on July 29, 2025. Mr. O'Brien used his military training and experience to provide medical aid to the rider of a motorcycle who had suffered catastrophic injuries. His swift, decisive actions and composure under pressure exemplify exceptional courage, compassion, and selfless service. Dated this 8th day of June, 2026 by my hand, please join me in congratulating Mr. Gregory O'Brien for receiving a Yorktown Police Department Certificate of Recognition.
I love this town, and I'm happy to have been at the right place at the right time. And to all the officers here, thank you so much for serving our community. Thank you for your words, Chief Noble, and go Knicks.
Our next award is another civilian certificate of recognition. And the recipients couldn't be here tonight because they're working. They're the owners of Yorktown Pizza and Pasta. Joe and Marina Giuliano. Yes, you can applaud. I began my career here in 1994, and one of the first trips I made during my field training officer program, and I'm sure A lot of these officers will say the same thing. One of the first places they went to was Yorktown Pizza and Pasta. Joe and Marina, for many years, I've been at it pretty close to 33 up here, they've treated members of the Yorktown Police Department like family, going above and beyond. When catastrophic events happen in the community, there's 10 pies being delivered to the Yorktown Police Department. When COVID raged on, and people were kind enough to send gift cards from Yorktown Pizza and Pasta, I don't know how they stayed in business, because they must have doubled and tripled what they gave us on the gift cards. It's a family place, and I'll often say it, this is my second family. This is a family police department. And Joe and Marina Giuliano are absolutely beloved by the cops at the Yorktown Police Department. You walk into their restaurant, you look to the left on the wall, there's all Yorktown athletes, or just Yorktown kids up there on the wall, celebrating the successes of our community. Anything anybody ever needs, they just go above and beyond. They are salt of the earth, hardworking people, and they make delicious food. So, I think I went up a belt size about it my first year in here. But again, we are so proud to call them friends, and we all thought it important that they receive the recognition that they deserve, because when we can walk into a place in uniform and know that we are amongst friends, and we are blessed to work in Yorktown, and that so often happens for us. But Joe and Marina and their family, they do it day in and day out. And as they'll remind me, I hired Tim Mullen, who was one of their best workers. I don't know if he's here tonight, but they always remind me that Mullen was one of theirs, and they trained him for me. But again, to Joe and Marina Giuliano, I'll read it. Certificate of recognition, Yorktown Pizza and Pasta, in appreciation of their many years of generosity, unwavering support, and delicious contributions to the Yorktown Police Department. They are awarded a certificate of recognition dated this day, the 8th of June, 2026, by my hand. And I'd ask for a nice round of applause for Joe and Marina. And now we begin with our awards. At this time, I'd ask Sergeant Michael Vuso, Officer Gino Argiro, and Officer Kelby Castulo, please step up. On February 12th, 2025, officers were dispatched to a call of a victim that was menaced with a firearm, and the suspect was still on scene inside of a vehicle. Sergeant Vuso and Officer Castulo arrived on scene and located the suspect in the vehicle and conducted a felony car stop, detaining the suspect. Officer Argiro arrived on the scene shortly afterward and met with the victim, who confirmed that the person detained was in fact the subject who had menaced him with a firearm. The victim also informed officers that the firearm was removed from the vehicle and taken back to the suspect's apartment. As a result of the officer's quick response to the scene and the interview with the victim, a firearm was subsequently recovered and a suspect was arrested. To share some information about that suspect, he had many prior arrests. He's what we would call a career criminal. Several of those arrests were for gun possession. And when we went back to the residence, there was a 6-year-old child in that residence in close proximity to that firearm. That firearm needed to be confiscated. And by the swift actions, intelligent actions of these officers who stand next to me, that gun was taken off the street and a career criminal was arrested. For this, Sergeant Vuso, Officer Argiro, and Officer Castulo will be receiving a certificate of commendation, which I will read to you. for the actions performed at the scene of a menacing involving a firearm, which occurred on February 12, 2025. As a result of the officer's quick response, coordinated efforts, and outstanding display of professionalism and efficiency, the firearm was successfully recovered and the suspect was safely placed under arrest. For that, Sergeant Michael Voso, Officer Gino Argiro, and Officer Kelby Castulo are receiving a certificate of commendation this evening, dated the 8th day of June, 2026, signed by my hand. A nice round of applause for our officers. And again, what is not written here, there were other officers that were involved in that case. They did the heavy lift. They were the initial first responders, our officers that responded to the scene. And again, everyone went home safe. Most importantly, our team. So once again, please recognize these officers for their brave, intelligent, heroic actions that night. All right. While the officers are filing back, Supervisor, I don't think you believe, did you introduce your fellow town board members?
I did not.
All right, so nice round of applause after I'm done. We have our town clerk, Diana Quast, here tonight. Always supportive of the Yorktown Police Department. We thank you, Diana. Councilman Patrick Murphy. Again, big supporter, Patrick. Thank you very much. You've met Town Supervisor Ed Lachterman. Our Deputy Supervisor, I see you back there, Councilman Sergio Esposito, whose daughter is now one of us. She just graduated the Police Academy, so congratulations, Serge. We have the judge, Elaine Gilbert. Lanny. Former town supervisor, and I had the pleasure of working under you for several years. And a man who needs no introduction, the New York State Assemblyman, one of Yorktown's favorite sons, Matt Slater, always a good friend of Yorktown PD. All right, now, if I can ask Detective Sergeant Tom Byrer, Officer Gino Argiro, Sergeant Chad Delgado, Officer Brian Bennett, Officer Brandon Montero, and Detective Daniel Curtis, please join me. On November 9th, 2024, the Yorktown Police Department received multiple 911 calls for shots fired in an apartment complex with a female down on the ground and possibly shot. Officers were immediately dispatched to the area, and it was unknown if the suspect was still in the area. The officers arrived on scene and quickly put on their tactical gear and armed themselves with patrol rifles. They located the female victim, who appeared to be deceased at this time, in front of one of the buildings. The officers secured the area and checked to ensure there were no other victims. Officers on the scene quickly obtained a description of the suspect and shared it over the radio for surrounding jurisdictions and other agencies. The New York State Police, the Westchester County Police, the Putnam County Sheriffs, and the Carmel Police Department all arrived on the scene quickly to assist us. Detective Curtis arrived shortly thereafter and began to gather information about the identity and vehicle driven by the suspect. This information was shared via the Westchester County Real-Time Crime Center, alerting all departments that utilize the Slack notification system. A short time later, the NYPD located the vehicle in the Bronx and attempted a vehicle stop. The suspect ultimately took his own life inside of his vehicle. The quick response of all officers and gathering and sharing of information as quickly as possible brought this investigation to a swift end. Having responded to this scene, the work that these officers did that stand before you truly was exemplary. It was a chaotic scene. They did not know if the suspect was immediately in the area, and it was their job to sweep that area and try to locate that suspect after quickly realizing that they could not render aid to the victim, unfortunately. But their actions, securing that scene and diligently searching the area, allowed us to identify witnesses and gather pertinent information that was shared with Detective Curtis, who again did an outstanding job when he arrived on the scene. In what was a difficult call with a tragic ending, having been there and assisting in the command center, I can honestly say that I was proud of the work that was done. It would have been a win, a total win if we could have saved a life that night, but that wasn't meant to be. But again, that officers that were just on a shift that, at that point was pretty routine, were thrown into that type of situation and responded in such a, again, I'll say it, heroic, intelligent, relying on their trainings, excellent communication, and just selflessness, looking out for each other at that scene while also protecting the community. They're receiving excellent police duty awards tonight, and they earned every bit of it. Very proud of their actions that evening. Would you please join me in giving the officers a well-deserved round of applause? And I'll read the excellent police duty certificate to everyone here tonight. For the actions performed during a fatal shots fired incident which occurred on November 9th, 2024, as a result of the officer's swift response, tactical approach, coordinated efforts, and effective dissemination of critical information, a suspect was quickly identified and located in New York City, safely bringing the investigation to a rapid conclusion. And again, that we were able to share information with what they did to the community. There are a lot of scared people. There are a lot of scared people in that apartment complex. And again, once word started circulating as to what had happened. But again, I can't say it enough that I'm proud of what these officers did that night. And again, one more round of applause for all. I'm going to have you all come up and give it to you. Sergeant Chair Delgado. Detective Daniel Curtis. Police Officer Brandon Montero. You can clap, hoot, and holler all you want. That's what makes this night great. Police Officer Brian Bennett. Police Officer Gino Argero, you 2 for 2. And I believe Detective Sergeant Byrer is on some well-deserved vacation tonight, so we'll hold this award and give it to him. But again, thank you so very much for what you did that night. It was an honor to work with you that evening. Well done. While these officers receive their awards, there are also some other people I'd like to introduce you to. My administrative team, my command staff, Captain Justin Foley, Patrol Division Commander Lieutenant Mark Rapisarda. Our Staff Division Commander Lieutenant Anthony DiPietrantonio. And our Professional Services Lieutenant Matt Rassiopo. I can remember the last time we were here, your two little kids were running around out here while you were getting awards. It's always a nice evening. And again, it's so nice to be amongst family here tonight. At this time, we have another excellent police duty award to share with all of you. I would ask that Sergeant Timothy Curtin please come up. Detective Michael Caprio. Detective Daniel Curtis. Police Officer Guillermo Lizarzaburu. Police Officer Brandon Montero. Police Officer Madison Cora. And Police Officer Ashley Sakaza. On February 8th, 2026, Yorktown Police received a call regarding a suicidal subject. The caller stated that the individual left a note and was going to take his own life. The officers immediately began to canvass the area for his vehicle, and detectives attempted to get a location by pinging his cell phone. During the canvass of the area, Officer Montero located the vehicle parked in a local parking lot. Officers cannot see into the vehicle due to heavy tinted windows, and were trying to verbally communicate with the subject within the vehicle. While attempting to communicate with the individual, Detective Caprio saw that there was a hose attached to the tailpipe of the vehicle going into the vehicle. At this point, the officers quickly developed a plan. The officers were able to approach the vehicle using a ballistic shield, breaking the driver's window to gain entry into the vehicle. They did this not knowing whether this subject was armed, only knowing that he was willing to take his life. They made this approach after realizing that it was in all likelihood a carbon monoxide poisoning attempt. But again, approaching that vehicle, they did not know who or what was inside. After they extracted the individual from the vehicle, he was handcuffed and provided oxygen by officers, given first aid until he could be treated by medical personnel after these officers deemed the scene safe for other first responders to assist. The officers' quick thinking and actions saved this individual's life. And it was important to know that Officer Montero, first one on the scene, was the one who put this subject in handcuffs. Again, I believe this was a Sunday night. I can remember getting the calls, and I think I was on the way, and they had secured this subject. But suicidal subject, uncertain, could have went any way. But these officers, again, to develop a plan that quickly, and everybody goes home safe. The officers and that subject, who hopefully has gotten the care that he needs and is living a productive life. But quick thinking actions, relying on your training, and trusting each other, and backing each other up at this scene. Just text work, police work by these officers, and I'm happy to see them get the recognition that they deserve tonight. So I will read the Excellent Police Duty Award certificate that each will receive for the actions performed at the scene of a mental health crisis, which occurred on February 8th, 2026, as a result of their professionalism, teamwork, tactical awareness, and dedication to public safety. The officers were able to successfully locate a suicidal subject, formulate a plan, and safely extract him from a locked vehicle with heavily tinted windows. If you would, please join me in applauding the actions of the officers that you see before you. And I'll call you up individually, please, to come up and get your certificates. I'm going to start out with Sergeant Timothy Curtin. Detective Michael Caprio. Mike. Detective Daniel Curtis. Police Officer Madison Cora. Police Officer Guillermo Lizarzaburu. Officer Ashley Sakaza could not be here this evening. And last but not least, Police Officer Brandon Montero. All right, this time we'll be handing out another Excellent Police Duty Award. And I would ask that Sergeant Jack Doherty please come up, Police Officer Brandon Schmelmer, and Police Officer Carl Nuccelli. On January 28th, 2026, Yorktown police were advised by the Westchester County Real-Time Crime Center of a wanted vehicle in our jurisdiction for fleeing a traffic stop initiated by the New York State Police. Officer Nuccelli located the vehicle and initiated a vehicle stop. And Officer Schmelmer and Sergeant Doherty arrived on the scene to assist. The operator then fled the scene with a vehicle pursuit entering into the town of Somers and the town of Carmel. The officers were eventually able to stop the vehicle with the assistance of the New York State Police, the Putnam County Sheriffs, and the Carmel Police Department. The operator fled the scene on foot, and Sergeant Doherty, Officer Schmelmer, and Officer Nuccelli gave chase and were able to apprehend the subject. The subject was wanted for bail jumping that stemmed from an original charge of rape in the second degree out of Utica, New York. Found his way up to Yorktown, though. The subject was ultimately charged by us. Nooch, how many tickets you give him? A lot. And he was ultimately turned over to parole officers to make his way back up to Utica, hopefully never to return to Yorktown again, unless it was before a judge. Just excellent tactics, excellent driving ability, great physical fitness. I can remember January 28th. That was cold. That was a cold day. And I see Schmelmer reacting to it right now because those guys' lungs had to be hurting. I can remember it was brutally cold that day. And I will tell you what, they got out of that car and, there was somebody else wrote about this incident, and I asked Sergeant Doherty, and he's like, I don't know, I remember our guys catching them and putting the cuffs on them. And while we did get help that day, these three officers that stand before you showed no hesitation. They chased a felon, and when he got out of the car, the chase just started, and they ran him down like dogs. Good job, fellas. Excellent police work. Great job bringing the guy to justice. Go ahead, give him a hand. And, I will add, anytime there's a vehicle pursuit, and there are law enforcement here in the audience tonight, it's a risk versus reward. If it's not safe, and listen, it's never safe, but if the degree of danger does not meet the ultimate catching of this subject, it isn't worth it. And the communication also, and Sergeant Doherty oversaw this with our lieutenants and desk officers at the time, they really, the police radio, they sounded calm under pressure. And you know, I mean, when you get into a vehicle pursuit, the adrenaline is ripping. I mean, these guys, they were ready to go, and they did it safely, safeguarding the public. No one got hurt. Even the perp. I don't even think he had to go to the hospital to get checked out. And I say that only because a lot of times they'll fake it, and we got to take them down, and they're only delaying the inevitable. But these guys did a tremendous job in challenging conditions. And I'm going to read this Excellent Police Duty Award right now for the actions performed during the apprehension of a wanted subject, which occurred on January 28th, 2026. As a result of their coordinated efforts, determination, and commitment to public safety, the officers were able to safely and successfully apprehend a wanted and fleeing suspect who had led officers on a multi-jurisdictional pursuit. A well-earned round of applause, please. Officer Schmelmer, Sergeant Doherty, and Officer Nuccelli. When I ask you, please step up to receive your award. Sergeant John Doherty. Officer Carl Nuccelli. And Officer Brandon Schmelmer. At this time, I'd ask that Detective James Hannigan please join me. You can clap. On April 13th, 2025, the Yorktown Police Department responded to the scene of a fatal drug overdose. During the investigation conducted at the scene, multiple glassine envelopes containing a substance later found to be fentanyl were discovered. Detective Hannigan was advised and took charge of the investigation. Detective Hannigan was able to access the victim's cell phone and applications on her phone. After an in-depth analysis, Detective Hannigan was able to identify suspicious text messages and Cash App money transfers with an individual suspected to be selling drugs to the victim. Detective Hannigan collaborated with the Westchester County Police Forensics Unit to obtain additional data from the victim's phone. Detective Hannigan was able to utilize multiple forms of data from the phone, including texts, photos, phone records, Cash App transactions, and social media information to identify the suspect, and he also located the date, time, and exact physical location in New York City where the victim and suspect met in person and conducted a drug transaction shortly before the victim's fatal overdose. I'm gonna stop right there. Just think about that. Think about the legwork that went into this, that Detective Hannigan performed in a very, very timely manner. Detective Hannigan located a nearby bank and obtained security footage of the meeting and transaction between the victim and the suspect that corresponded with the text messages and related data on the victim's phone. This was in the Bronx, New York, correct, Jim? While conducting this investigation, Detective Hannigan learned that the NYPD had executed a search warrant on the suspect's residence, as he was a known narcotics dealer and convicted felon who was under investigation by the NYPD for crimes unrelated to this case. As a result of the search warrant, the suspect was arrested for possession of a firearm and possession of 1 kilogram of fentanyl. Detective Hannigan, who represents the Yorktown Police Department on the FBI Safe Streets Task Force, brought the FBI Safe Streets Task Force in to take charge of the case, and they would work with the NYPD to charge the subject federally for the firearm and fentanyl seized during a search warrant. Detective Hannigan arrested the suspect on federal charges while he was still in custody of the NYPD. Detective Hannigan and another task force detective conducted an interrogation of the suspect, during which he admitted selling the fentanyl to the victim prior to her death. The suspect was subsequently charged with an additional federal crime for the distribution of fentanyl that resulted in the death of another. And I believe he's looking at a 20-year sentence. Correct, Jim? All right. But again, he took charge of this, and it was personal to him. Just intelligent police work, and you know, as we're wont to say at the Yorktown Police Department, Hannigan always gets his man. And you give him a little bit of information, and he will quickly turn it into a lot. And it's not the first dealer he's put away on federal charges. He continues to do an excellent job, a proactive street cop who you know, we're lucky to have here in the town of Yorktown, doing the dirty work and keeping everybody safe in this community. So at this time, I'd like to present this Excellent Police Duty Award to Detective James Hannigan for his act. Go ahead. For his actions performed during the extensive investigation of a fatal drug overdose, which occurred on April 13, 2025, in coordination with members of the NYPD and the FBI Safe Streets Task Force, Detective Hannigan demonstrated exceptional investigative skills. As a result of his persistence and dedication to justice, the narcotics dealer was identified and held accountable for an overdose death. Please join me again in congratulating Detective James Hannigan. Jim. We have two life-saving awards this evening. First award, I would ask Police Officer Guillermo Lazarzaburu and Police Officer Domenico Donati. Please join me. On January 17, 2025, officers were dispatched for an aided call in which a male was reported to be unconscious but still breathing. Upon the arrival, the officers found the subject was no longer breathing and immediately began CPR, utilizing an AED to attempt to shock the victim back to life. As a result of the officers' training on how to handle medical emergencies, they were able to regain a pulse, and the subject was transported to the hospital for further medical treatment, saving the gentleman's life. This occurred in Jefferson Village. The subject was 84 years old. Many times when you do CPR on a subject that age, you're cracking ribs, and it's not pretty. That AED and the officer's training on how to use it and how to perform CPR absolutely saved this gentleman's life. Sergeant John Doherty performed a follow-up to this call to see how the subject was doing. And again, this incident happened on January 17th. On January 21st, 2025, the subject was in stable condition and was expected to recover. So again, please join me in congratulating Officer Donati and Officer Lazarzaburu for their life-saving actions. And I'll read the life-saving award. For the actions performed at the scene of a medical emergency, which occurred on January 17, 2025, as a result of the life-saving measures taken by the officers, including CPR and the deployment of an AED, they were able to successfully restore the pulse of an unconscious male who was then transported to a hospital for further treatment. You heard it before with Mr. O'Brien. One of the most powerful things that you can do in this profession is to save the life of another. Doesn't matter the conditions. You don't know when that opportunity is going to come, but when you are successful, and many times it's out of our hands, but when you can provide that life-saving service, it's something you should be very proud of for the rest of your careers. And I'm proud to give these awards to Officer Donati and Officer Lazar Saburu. One more time, a round of applause. Officer Donati and Officer Lazar Saburu. Some of these guys are going to need a bigger wall. Our second life-saving award, I'd ask Officer Brandon Schmelmer and Officer, yes, Officer Brandon Schmelmer and Officer Carl Nuccelli. Please join me. On November 23rd, 2025, Officer Brandon Schmelmer and Officer Carl Nuccelli were advised to canvass Route 35 and to search for a suicidal male who may be in the area. The officers were later advised that this subject was located in Somers, and they were asked to keep responding to assist at the scene. Upon their arrival, they observed that the subject was sitting on a guardrail, speaking with a Somers police officer. While the subject was speaking with the Somers officer, he intentionally fell backwards into the water from a height of 30 to 40 feet. I believe it was the Muscoot River that he fell into. Officer Schmelmer and Officer Nuccelli, without hesitation, went down to the water, a steep incline and decline, and pulled the subject out to ensure his safety. The officers' decisive actions saved the life of the subject that day. And again, another mental health call, and we've had our share this year, and that's for sure. But just an unpredictable call, unpredictable male, somebody who really needed some help. And these two officers that you see standing with me, they gave this guy another chance at life. They really did, because they didn't get down there to him in time. Who knows what he would have done afterward? They searched him for weapons. Thankfully, he didn't have any. But again, using de-escalation and speaking in a calm, professional manner, they were able to convince, well, the subject didn't have much of a choice, but he went willingly to a hospital to get further care. And for that, that's just an outstanding piece of police work. Very well done. Very proud of Officer Schmelmer and Nuccelli. Please give them a round of applause for their actions that evening. And as you can see, they work very well together. They're teaming up for these awards. But I'll read the life-saving award. For their actions performed at the scene of a mental health crisis, which occurred on November 23rd, 2025, as a result of their swift, decisive actions and unwavering commitment to preserving life, the officers were able to successfully rescue a suicidal subject who had intentionally thrown himself into the Muscoot River from an elevated location, again, approximately 30 to 40 feet high. Officer Nuccelli and Officer Schmelmer, very well done. Officer Brandon Schmelmer. Well done. And Officer Carl Nuccelli. Our final award of the evening is a Meritorious Police Duty Award. There's probably less than 20 given out since I've been a Yorktown police officer, and that spans, I've been here since 1994. Truly heroic actions, intelligently performed, and I'd ask that Sergeant Timothy Curtin please join me up the podium. On June 15th, 2025, for those of you who remember, it was Father's Day. This sergeant is a father of 4, working a shift that day on a Sunday, just hoping to get home safely at the end of his tour and get along with the rest of his day and celebrate that day with his family. Police officers who were dispatched, it was Officer Curtin at the time, Officer Houlihan, and Officer Campion. They were dispatched to a local shopping center for a man who was just attacked by someone with a knife. Responding officers were given the suspect description, and while en route, as Sergeant Curtin was approaching the shopping center, he observed a male subject fitting the description crossing the roadway on Route 202 in the area of BJ's. Sergeant Curtin immediately stopped his vehicle, positioned himself in a place of tactical advantage, and confronted the suspect as he was crossing the roadway towards the Chase Bank that was nearby there. The male complied with the orders, and when Officer Curtin asked him to remove his hands from his pockets, he complied and was holding a large kitchen knife in his left hand. Sergeant Curtin immediately drew his service weapon and ordered the suspect to the ground. Remaining calm and using clear and concise verbal commands, Sergeant Curtin had the suspect throw the knife to the ground, and he instructed the subject to lie on his stomach, and the subject thankfully complied. Officer Curtin was able to take him into custody without any further incident. Sergeant Curtin is being commended for his quick response to the scene, locating the subject, and remaining calm during the encounter, ensuring the public's safety and making the arrest. But I just want you to put yourself in the shoes of Sergeant Curtin. I don't really need a narrative for this one. Again, a victim had just been stabbed, and that doesn't happen all that much in Yorktown, especially not on a Sunday, early afternoon, late morning. And that now, I'm going to call him Sergeant Curtin because that's what I'm used to calling him. He was promoted pretty quickly after this incident. The timing was impeccable, Tim. But aside from that, he just does an outstanding job. He's a calm presence, and I firmly believe, we can train, and we do commit to training. Our officers are trained in an excellent manner. We're blessed to have excellent instructors. But to go along with that training, you need a demeanor when you're faced with a very, very stressful situation. And, Timmy's always exemplified that. He serves as our PBA president now, represents us in the community. But, on that day, when he had to step up and act, and I'm sure a lot of it was training and instinct. I mean, he was flawless, just a flawless job. This subject, again, violent assault, again, mental health related. But Sergeant Curtin was able to apprehend this subject on his own. By the time the other officers got there, and they got there quick, subject was in cuffs, and everybody was okay. Thankfully, the victim recovered, and hopefully that suspect getting the help he needs if that's the case. But this Meritorious Duty Award, so very well deserved. I say it again, so very proud of the actions and for you representing the Yorktown Police Department in that way. A very, very well-deserved round of applause for Sergeant Tim Curtin. This Meritorious Police Duty Award awarded to Sergeant Timothy Curtin for his actions performed during a violent assault involving a knife, which occurred on June 15, 2025. As a result of Sergeant Curtin's swift response, situational awareness, and composure under pressure, the suspect was taken into custody and a potentially lethal situation was safely resolved. Thank you for your actions that day, Tim. Well done. Again, a nice round of applause for Sergeant Tim Curtin. before I close the ceremony, and I do want to thank our awards committee, led by Patrol Commander Lieutenant Mark Rapisarda, who really had to go through quite a few submissions, and I thank you for getting it right. A round of applause for our awards committee. And before I close, on behalf of the town board, Supervisor Lachterman, would you like to say anything?
Let's go Knicks!
I'm going to get you home in time for tip-off, that's for sure. And we're going to take a group picture before we vacate out of here. And there'll be a lot of time for all of you to take photos with your families. But I hope it comes across, again, how proud I am and how much joy I have for nights like this. It really is, it's a great night. And I've always looked forward to doing it, throughout my career. Whether it's awards or introducing new police officers. And before I go any further, there's a group of Yorktown PBA members in the back. Can you please give them a round of applause as well? I see Detective Noon, Officer Permuto, Officer Dubray, Officer P, Mike Petronello, who never misses an event, and Sergeant Murphy. Good job coming out to support. But again, it really is. You had your chance.
This is an important one, though, that needs to be said.
You're going to wait. You're going to wait, because you can't throw me out.
I can.
You're running out of time. This is my last award ceremony. This is it. I'm sure a lot of family here, I'm sure these guys have shared, I'm walking out on June 26th at 3 p.m. Y'all want to come, you're around, you're welcome to come. But it's nights like this that I will miss being up here to speak to what character and what great human beings the men and women of this police department are. I am beyond proud to be their chief. I only hope I represent them half as good as they represent the community in their day-to-day actions. I love them all, and I love you as family. So again, one more round of applause for these guys. Supervisor, now it's yours.
You know, we have some great men and women, and we would be here regardless, because this is a job they do day in and day out. But they have been, for the past 10 years, under some great leadership. I've had the pleasure of serving with you those 10 years while you've been chief. Can we hear it from the leadership, the soul of our department, Bob Noble?
Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, Diana Patrick. Your Honor, Supervisor Slater, I still call you that after all this time. You know, and it's funny, each one of these guys are different. I guess I'll save some of it for the walkout, but yeah. I needed a new phone plan with Supervisor Slater. I'm sorry, this kid's here. I talk to my Uncle Billy a couple times a day. He lives alone in the Bronx. He's 80 years old, and he's getting up there. And, you know, he calls me a couple times a day. And when I work for the supervisor, my youngest daughter, Meg, and she's spicy, that phone will ring at night, and she's like, oh, is it Uncle Billy or Supervisor Slater? And, but, you know, I've been blessed. Having a great police department, you need a good town board. You read the stories in the paper about different town boards, and I'll guarantee you, a lot of the police departments are good. It's when other people try to make them look bad, or when there's infighting, and when there's just selfishness, out-and-out selfishness going on. But we're blessed to have good town government. I thank you all for your support of our police department. If I get a round of applause for the people who are here tonight. Sergio, you're back there, but they didn't have to be here. They're here Tuesday night, but I thank you all very much. So with that, I thank you all very much. Always remember, we're nothing without our family, without our loved ones. Goal number one, they'll tell you, you get home safe at the end of your tour. You make it back to your loved ones. That's rule number one, and that will never change for police officers. And that you're here tonight to support all of them. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.